Hey, why don't we go fishing? Come on. Pretty early out here this morning on Sheldon Reservoir in northeast Houston. I'm out here today going to be doing some more testing of the turbo bullet bladed jig and see how things happen. I'm not even sure if you can see me right now because it's still pretty light or dark out here. So we're going to go ahead and fish, and I'll talk more about the turbo bullet later once it gets lighter. Testing out the turbo bullets again. We're going to hope that the bass aren't camera shot today. They were camera shot the last test. Was only able to get a couple in the boat while the camera was running. So we'll see what happens today. The air temperature is mid-50s. Water temperature is 62 degrees, which is good news. It was 52 the last time we tested, so hopefully the bass will be a little more active today. We got some cloud cover moving in. There's a front coming in tomorrow. We actually had a bunch of rain yesterday, so I don't know what to expect right now. I really would like to see a little breeze blowing. Right now the water is just slick, and I know the bass are going to be a little bit on the spooky side. So, but hopefully we'll get a breeze here in a little bit. It's supposed to blow here in a little bit, and we can catch some fish. So hang in there, let's get at it. Now folks, y'all see all the trees. Trees everywhere. What you don't see is a lot of the secondary stumps that are out here in what looks like to be clear. Now, there is a lot of secondary stumps, and a lot of times the bass will hang on those secondary stumps and not the trees themselves. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. I'm trying to fish those secondary stumps a little bit. Fish. Oh yeah, good fish, good fish, good fish. Get in the boat here. There we go. Yeah. Old turbo bullet. Got one this morning. 2.5, maybe. It's pretty fat, so it might push 3 pounds. It's a good start. Well, go back in there and get the egg. All Alright, before we go any further, let's talk a little bit about the equipment I'm using. The rod is a Dynamis Custom, 7 foot, medium heavy with a fast tip. I've got a Arden Apex Elite reel, and it is a 6:5 to 1 gear ratio. Loaded with 17-pound K9 fluorocarbon. As you can see, the turbo bullet, it's a bullet head shaped jig that has the shaft extended out from the nose. And what that shaft does, it gives you more vibration. It actually causes the bait to move better than on a standard bladed jig or chatterbait or whatever you want to call it. They work really well. It comes through the grass really good. And we'll be fishing some vegetation here a little bit later probably. So, with that said, let's go in, and I see some vegetation, and we're going to see if we can't get a bass out of it. So, whenever you get some vegetation in the trees, that's a double plus. I'm retrieving it this morning. I've been playing with the retrieve. Started out with a steady, medium fast retrieve, and now I'm not really slow, but a slower retrieve, and I'm pausing. I'm basically here. What I'm doing is let it fall a little bit, and I'm retrieving, and then I pause. And I retrieve a little bit, kind of zigzagging it up and down with my retrieve, not moving my rod grip. And that's what that fish that ate it, that's what I was doing. So I'm trying to stay there with that kind of motion right now. I haven't found a fish yet. I've moved into some scattered lily pads that are still remaining, and then you see a lot of the stick-ups of the old lily pads that have died off because it's starting to get cold. See if they're in here. Water temperature here is pushing 64 degrees. So they might be in here. Yeah, I guess the water's warm enough for alligators. Big old alligators. Right over there, about 40 yards away, I guess. I don't know if you can see it on the video or not. Just this side of the bank, or the shoreline right there, is a pretty good sized gator, judging from his head. We're gonna leave him alone. Another decent bass. And turbo bullets catch him. Boy, he was hooked too. There we go. Good little chunk. There's a ton of videos on YouTube telling you how to work a bladed jig. Do a search on bladed jig and you'll come up with dozens of videos. Well, my take on that is individuals have their own preferences. For me, a bladed jig, especially this turbo bullet, is a very versatile bait. You do not have to work it one way all the time. You can work it many different ways. You can work it slow, you can work it fast, in cover. As you can see, I mean, we've been fishing lily pads and other vegetation this morning, and I've had little or no problem with it. I mean, sure, you're going to catch some vegetation every now and then. I don't care what kind of bladed jig it is, you're going to catch some vegetation. The bullet head helps out a lot. You don't catch as much as you do on some of the other bladed jigs that are out there. How do I work the bladed jig? I let the bass tell me how to work the bladed jig. I'll start out with a medium retrieve. I'll slow it down, I'll speed it up, I'll put pauses in there. As you see with the first bass this morning, I was sort of slow and I was pausing it. This second bass I caught, I was working it pretty hard. Not super fast, but pretty fast. And the reason I was doing that is there's hydrilla underneath these lily pads, and I'm trying to keep it in between the hydrilla and the lily pad itself, and that fish hit it. And I had another one I lost doing the same thing, so that might be the ticket this morning. These old lily pads, you're not going to find a lot of them this time of year. I mean, it's almost Christmas, and the cold weather's pretty much shut down most of the vegetation already. So, hope that helps you out. I mean, don't just get stuck on one way of fishing a bladed jig. Work it several different ways, find out what the bass want that particular day, and catch them. And work it in multiple different types of cover. You can fish it around the trees, you can fish it around rocks, you can fish it in the vegetation, and it will catch you some fish. All right, let me see if I can catch some more fish. Well, if y'all follow me on Twitter or Facebook or YouTube or something, you probably know that I'm trying to kick the nicotine habit. And I found a product that's given me a lot of help. It's called Cowboy Coffee Chew, and stuff's great. It has no nicotine, it's caffeine, it's made out of coffee, smells like coffee, tastes like coffee. And if you like coffee as much as I like coffee, this is the stuff for you. Basically just put it in your mouth, kind of like tobacco dip, I guess you could call it, say. You can chew on it, get the flavor out of it. You can swallow it, unlike tobacco, doesn't hurt you. If you need a little boost from caffeine, it gives you a little boost from caffeine. So, hey, I highly recommend this Cowboy Coffee Chew. Give it a try if you want to kick nicotine, or if, hey, even if you just love coffee and need that caffeine boost. There's a fish. Get in here. Oh, come up in the boat. Come out here. Little chunk. Tell you, if they ever really turn on, I'm going to just hammer them with this bait. I mean, they're not really turned on. We're picking up one here, one there. I think sometime a little afternoon, it's going to really turn on. Well, as you can see, I'm down to just my jersey now. They ain't kidding, it's about 80 degrees out here 4 days before Christmas. The sun's trying to peek out, so I had to put my sunglasses on. So, hey, I changed to a green pumpkin turbo bullet, and I put a crawl trailer on it, and I dipped those crawl claws in chartreuse. So let's see see if that has any effect. All my bites so far have come on black and blue. I threw a white and chartreuse for a while and didn't have any luck on it. So let's see if it's green pumpkin today. Little guy hit the white one. All right. Look back in. It may be a good sign though. Buddy, how's that for a bounty hunter? Jig. Oh, and it fell out of her mouth. Look at that. How about that for a turbo bullet? We're gonna have to weigh her. Yeah, we're gonna have to weigh her. It's a big old girl right there. I forgot I'd turn the camera off to save some time. And, Lord. All right, let's see. Let's see. Oh. 756. I don't know if you can see it. 756. It's a good one. Man, look at. Yes, sir. That's a fish right there. We're gonna let her go, fatten up for the winter, and whoo, buddy. Like that white one. Like that white one. I just switched back to the white one. I forgot I'd turn the camera off, and first cast on that point over there, she hammered it. At first I thought I'd hit a stump or something because it just stopped. So, hey, got a little more time. Let's see if we can get another one. Okay, folks, camera's almost out of memory, so we're going to call it a day. At least I got that one big girl in. Caught, 5 total on the turbo bullet. And one the big girl hit is this. this white and chartreuse turbo bullet, and I was using this cream split tail on the turbo bullet when she hit it, and boy, I'm happy. And it was a short shaft. It was not the long shaft. It was the short shaft turbo bullet. You can see. So it was a hard day there until she hit. Now I'm all excited. Don't forget, I was using a dynamis rod, Arden Apex Elite Reel, and K9 17-pound fluorocarbon. And if you haven't tried the K9 Fishing Products fluorocarbon, you're missing out, folks. Good stuff. About $20 for 550 yards of it. It's tough, it lasts long, only line I use. I don't even use braid anymore. Oh, and I forgot. Cowboy coffee chew, don't forget. Try use some cowboy coffee chew. Hey, until next time, take a kid fishing. Bye.